I mean, Penny Bradley, Thomas Alvin, Tony Rodriguez, Sean Bond, Morgan Starr, me, Michael Muma, those are the admins in the Secret Space Program group, and they take their jobs as admins seriously. They remove the negative comments, the arguing, the harassment, and they get flack for all of this. They do, but they do their job and they admin the group. They actually admin it, and I won't take the bullshit. You do your BS in the group. You're given 3 chances, and then you're out. So these admins do their work. They're not just sitting there pressing buttons. They look at who they accept as members in the group. They look at the stuff that before it's published, all the posts, because some of it is ridiculous and it's not SSP and it's weird. And we don't put it in the group. We actually delete it and we explain to you why we did it and why we're calling you on your actions if something does happen in terms of member interaction. So we are policing the SSP group. It is being looked at. All of it is being looked at. Nothing is ignored. These admins, it's like a full-time job for them. They take it seriously to make it a safe and welcoming environment in this SSP group and to make sure we don't have spies and leaks and whatnot.
I definitely want to commend all the admin though for that, for all the work done behind the scenes. Thank you guys.
And I see the behind the scenes everyday stuff, what we talk about, and sometimes they have full on attacks by other SSP members from the community that are not in these groups. Some who come into the group and are just not satisfied with what they're seeing. And so these admin get flack for it and they just take it in stride and move forward because they believe in the core of this. This is an SSP vet group for SSP veterans and letting in new experiencers and just people who are curious about this. What is the Secret Space Program SSP stuff? What is it? As Penny Bradley calls them, the looky-loos. We let those in too. We let a lot of people in that are not SSP experiencers either. You're curious, we let you in. Have a look around, explore, post stuff on the SSP. If you find something, enjoy it. The looky-loos are important too. That's how you get your awakening process, by exploring what you want to know about this or that or something else. And it's a fond term. Looky-loo is not anything bad. It's just something you want to explore something and learn about something. It's the learners, the researchers. We just have a fond name of looky-loo.
Yeah, it keeps it on. It keeps it light. It keeps it lighthearted.
Yeah, we keep the light on.
And
Welcome.
and humorous. You got to keep it lighthearted and humorous sometimes in this because honestly, yeah, you do got to take it with a light heart.
Yeah, and not focus in on judgment and keep an open mind because the stuff is way out there. It's not your grandma everyday doily stuff. It's not your old baby boomer.
No, it's definitely beyond the whole UFO Twilight Zone thing. I mean, this is like obviously like I saw Penny say it earlier, more advanced.
Yeah,
So
it's not your grandma making a doily. Just humor.
yeah, no, that's good.
But hey, even older folks are really wanting to know about this stuff, and the baby boomers are exploring this as well. So it's not just us millennials or the younger crowd; it's older people too. So it's anybody could be interested in this. It's not just your grandma in the doily.
Yeah, no, it's gonna make a difference once you get into it. It'll either you'll either get into it or it'll turn you away so fast that you won't look back.
Yeah, you'll have fire coming out of your ears, but it's certainly interesting and might be a good story for somebody. For somebody, it's just a story. For us, it's a reality that happened. So Either way, it's information. You take it in or you don't, up to you.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not here to stir up trouble. We're not here to cause trouble. We're just here to tell it like it is. You want it, great. You don't, that's fine too.
Yeah, but we want everyone to want it because it's the answer. It's the answer to the question, the question it's the answer to the questions that, a lot of people want to know.
That,
You know,
that
are
is
we
my hope.
alone? That kind of thing. That's
Are
that's the one question that I would want to know.
Yeah, are we alone? How much of us are out there? What are the secret space programs? I mean, free will, the hope is that people do want to know it and want it, but we do have free will, and there are those people that don't want it and don't need it, but there's room for everybody. No judgment. Keep an open mind. Um, we're just trying to to make it open access and to be available for the ones that do want it.
Yeah, it's my mission, it's my mission to get this out. And I mean, I do have a book that I'm getting out there. I'm out there marketing it, spreading it, and it does have this information in it. And I really am, I mean, coming forward publicly as who I'm saying I am. And I'm ready. I'm ready for any questions, any whatever's going to come my way from this, because it's what I've taken on to do as my full-time, life experience.
And what's the title of the book?
It's called Son of the Morning, and it's you can find it if you type it into Google Son of the Morning, and then my name. I actually wrote it underneath the name Anthony Kaminsky. It's up there and it's on Amazon and Balboa Press. So yeah, it can enlighten people.
And do you talk about the Holy Grail in it as well, and the mystery schools?
Yes, I do. I talk about everything I learned, and not everything because it's ongoing. But at the point that I wrote the book, it took me 8 years to write the book, and in that time, I was obviously initiated and understood that my soul was initiated into the mystery schools, and that's when I started learning all of the things that are behind the Grail mysteries and all of that, and that's all in there.
I find that stuff fascinating. I know that I've actually taken shamanism courses, Wicca light magic, different types of healing, alternative practitioner stuff, alternative medicine courses, hypnosis regression. I've taken courses in that, and that's all mystery schools in its own form to learn because it's esoteric, it's magic. I took astrology, I took psionic courses, I took tarot, I studied tarot, as it's called, or tarot, because you can say either or. And it's all ancient knowledge and wisdom that we've had before, and we're regaining it now. It's mystery schools. It's all wonderful stuff to learn.
It really is, and I mean, people will find that the New Age is really old age remembered,
Hmm.
and I study the tarot extensively. I have been for like 5 years, and I read every day and understand what's behind, and it is magical because the more you do it, the more you find out from it, and the more it never like there'll be a point where you think you can't experience something new, and then something new will happen from it, that you didn't see before. You'll see more of the card or what it means more, and it really does a good job of bringing subconscious aspects to the conscious mind through symbolism, and so you can start reading cards, and something from that card will bring up from your subconscious what you need brought to your conscious mind to address it and to be able to then move through it, or something. It either can be an obstacle or an aid, or whatever. But I've really found the magic in the tarot, and it's quite I wouldn't say scary, but when you read it and you understand it, you're like, wow, this is right on. you know.
And it's like a manifesting tool, manifestation work tool. It's also a tool to help you see your present, your past, your future, what you hope to get out of life. And you can make it fun and make your own spreads once you're more experienced with reading the tarot. You can make your own spreads because there's different spreads, and it's all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like your past, your present, your future, you're this, you're that. You can custom tailor it to your own spreads, not just from what's in the tarot book. And there's also oracle cards, so it's not just tarot. Wisdom Oracle is also great, and I've worked with that. And the mermaid ones, oh my God, I love the mermaid and the crystal oracle cards. Amazing, because I had a mermaid lifetime in Atlantis twice. So for me, like my website, Messages from a Star Traveler, has mermaids on it, and it's purple. So it's divine feminine.
Yeah, that's interesting because I had a lifetime in Atlantis too, and actually, I do start out my book with, I mean, every chapter in my book has an excerpt from the Emerald Tablets of Atlantis, because one of my main missions was to bring the existence of Atlantis up for this consciousness to know, because it's been wiped from the memory, so no one knows that we had attained higher levels of consciousness back then. And the first Emerald Tablet I wrote from, it goes, in a time far past, and this is actually from Thoth, because Thoth the Atlantean wrote these back in the days of Atlantis. And he just said, in a time far past, I began this incarnation, not as the men of present age did. The mighty ones of Atlantis live and die. Rather, from aeon to aeon do they renew their life in the halls of Amenti, where the river of life flows eternally onward. And the Emerald Tablets are very cryptic, but it's just wisdom. And if you read them, it will enlighten you to the knowledge of Atlantis, and that was a real time and place. And that's very important for people that are on this path to understand, is what I think.
Yeah, and I've noticed that many of the SSP experiencers have had Atlantis lifetimes, and that's what the SSP wants them from. They actually want your memories of the Atlantis technology, of the spirituality, of the psionics, because energetic upliftment happened in Atlantis, and these programs are super interested in the esoterics and the magic and the occulticism of what happened in Atlantis and what memories we have of it now, of our human lifetimes, ET, Atlantis. The programs want this. We're valuable assets for it, and because of it.
And that can be seen with Hitler's quest, and the Nazis, and what they were really looking for was, what really drove the Nazis was the belief of Atlantis and the Thule Society and Vril Society, and obviously that they would be looking for these artifacts and places for proof, in Tibet and all these places, to find out about this type of magic and this type of technology, and they did. and that's what they're carrying on now through the secret space programs.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I mean, they trolled all the mystery schools. They did troll them. The Nazi operatives, they trolled the mystery schools to get the info, and the secret space programs have benefited from that knowledge. And man, the Vatican has a huge library. That Alexandria library, even though it was burned down, they moved all the stuff from it to the Vatican and other places. They have different vault libraries. They have one in Antarctica. They have one on many different planets. They have books from Earth on different planets that the SSP is in charge of.
That makes perfect sense, because the knowledge is the real power. So they obviously know that, and keep that wherever they need to keep it, because the magic is real, and I mean the technology is real, and it comes from really back then. So
Oh, yeah. And the show called The Librarians, if you've ever watched that,
I've
they,
seen an episode, yeah.
yeah, what they do is it's about four librarians who actually keep the magic in check. Magic has been released into the world, and they keep it in check, and they work in a huge library. Huge, like it's the Library of Alexandria connected to the human world, and they have all kinds of magical artifacts, books. Magic exists, and it's actually disclosed in the show called The Librarians.
Yeah, yeah, I'm right there with the because in Transformers 2, the new Transformers the last night, literally the first words that they say in that movie are magic exists. And then they start going into the story of how that's possible. And it has to do with aliens as well. So, it's all getting out there.
Well, have you watched Power Rangers?
Oh my, yes, yes, I have. That's another one that really hits me for recall and stuff.
Yeah, the new Power Rangers movie, it actually shows Earth's history and how there was a fight between the Power Rangers and aliens who wanted to destroy Earth with the Earth's inner crystal.
Right, the Zeo crystal and those concepts and themes are galactic history, being put out there, and that's what I feel from my soul when I watch it because I'm sitting there crying and Power Rangers, and everybody else is like, yeah, go Power Rangers, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this is so true and beautiful, and like it's crazy, you know.
Or the old ones, the old classic Sailor Moon and Moon Power, like the moon existed. There was a crystal city on the moon. There was crystal Tokyo in the future. All this crystal technology, all these incarnations of coming forward from different planets to Earth in the present to save the Earth and to save the moon from galactic invaders. Sailor Moon, girl power.
Yeah, no, that's what's up because obviously that's what it's all about, because we've had these other existences in these times, and if we're here now, obviously we came here, to this time and place to help bring those times back, where it was beautiful and a paradise, and everybody did live in harmony and peace, and that's the way that they lived back then.
Exactly. It's like there's disclosure shows, anime, TV series, movies, Sailor Moon, Power Rangers, Transformers. There's so many
So
different ones.
that's what you got to ask yourself is where is this information coming from? It's like, yeah, you're watching it as entertainment, but where is it coming from? And if you go to search that out, you'll see the similarities in the shows as to our history, and then you'll be like, okay, this is derived from this, and like just like with George Lucas and Star Wars, did he just make all that up, or is that a narrative from some galactic history being understood and revealed through a movie, which it is because I know the Jedi are actually real because the Jedi are actually a mystery school thing because they had the Jedi priest of Egypt who obviously kept the secret of the Jed, which is the Kundalini, and it raises up your spine, and the Jedi were real, but it wasn't spelled the same way. It was Djhedi, I believe.
Yeah, I was actually a priest and an architect in the Egyptian times when they were building the pyramids, and I remember holding this levitation device, and it just hauled that block towards the pyramid and put it on top, and it's anti-grav levitation technology. It's a scanner. You press a button, an electric field comes up, and it just levitates whatever you want, even if it's tons, if it weighs tons, it'll levitate it and put it in place.
Wow, that is amazing. That is an amazing memory because that goes to show you how that was done. That's the explanation, and that's huge.
And I was a dude, I was a man.
Yeah, I've had recalls where I was a woman, so I've had lives as a woman. So
Yeah, I mean, I never could understand why I wasn't that comfortable in this female body with certain biological factors that happen in this female body. I do like the shape and the size and everything of the body that I'm in. I just couldn't take some of the female monthly issues that come along with it. Like because I knew that I had the comforts of being a man. So one point, one lifetime. So I'm like, what's the difference between the female version of a lifetime and the male? It's just the biologicals are slightly different, but you're still human. So it's the comfort. Like I like being a woman. I have nothing against that. But there men have like more benefits, I think.
I think we don't have it as hard. I guess you could say that.
Well, I'm gonna say it. You don't have to wear that stupid diaper each month. You
Yeah,
just don't.
we don't have to give the birth, and that is I will give all the credit to the one. I mean, that is the main thing. So
Oh, that's easy. Birth is easy. I find wearing the diaper every month. That wasn't the fun factor for me. You guys
yeah,
don't have to wear the diaper. Some men want to have kids. They want the experience of childbirth. They're like, is that going to be medically possible for me one day to experience doing that? Because they're envious of their female partner. They want the experience of having a baby. So some men are like, man, I wish I could do that. And women are like, are you crazy for wanting that? Like, so
yeah,
it
I
goes both
understand.
ways.
I hear that.
I
Yeah, no,
mean, it's like,
it's interesting. It's all interesting.
yeah, it's just women have that weird monthly issue. For some, it's not an issue, but it's just a crazy thing that the reptilians created for women when they put the moon in orbit around Earth. That's actually when the female cycles came into place, the menstrual cycles. So I was discussing that with Kevin Trammell because he studied that information, and that happened when the reptilians when the moon came into phase around Earth orbit, and the reptilians ended up on the moon and causing weird fluctuations with the moon and the Earth in one of those labs on the moon, and they created the female cycle.
That would explain, the reason for it, and through definitely how that magical experiences happens.
Yeah, because originally females on Earth didn't have that monthly cycle, and other extraterrestrial females don't have it either. So it has to do with reptilians and how they've tinkered with human biology, male and female biology.
Yeah, I know we've been tinkered with as a species by a lot of different races, so I believe that.
And I think it's more than 22 genetic experiments and alterations. I think it's more than 22 different ETs. I think it's more than that.
It's always more. That's what I've found. It is always more, and it's quite something to grasp your head around when you realize the scale and the size of all of this. Because when I was told I've been to 162 planets, physically and astrally, and I mean, for me to even wrap my head around that, I mean, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, I've been through hypnosis. I found out that I had 202 human lifetimes. And that's just the human lifetimes. And I've had thousands of ET lifetimes. And that I was working toward becoming an eternal, like in Star Trek, a Q, where you could be a energy being of pure
Hmm.
energy, and you can take on corporeal form if you want or not. You have the option of both, and you're not limited in terms of your psionic power. You have all of your full power to capacity, and you live forever. That's an eternal. I was working my way up to being one being with all memories intact from all lifetimes, universes, whatnot, as an eternal. That's what I was working towards before I decided to come back as this human life, this final lifetime as human, to do something specific on this planet, and then I'd go back for the eternal part that I want of being an eternal.
Wow, that is amazing, and I think that I'm on the same path. That sounds similar to what I'm working towards as well.
Because realistically, wouldn't it be cool if you had all your memories intact of all your lifetimes that you've ever had, of your current one, in one body? You don't age, you don't become sick. You have the ability to have a corporeal body, semi-corporeal, where you're a light being, or just pure energy. You're invisible, but you can still see what everybody else is doing. And you have the ability to be physical, semi-physical, and totally non-corporeal, and have the choice between all of those things. You could have your cake and eat it too. Why not?
That would be the ultimate because you could be all things. So it's like let's get to that.
Yeah, you're one of the creators. You're an eternal. There's degrees of universes, the oldest, the youngest, who created who, and who is really source? Who is source energy? Who is source creator? Who is that?
Well, I guess, it's us.
Yeah, exactly. It's us, and it's the universe and the universes and dimensions, and somebody creates somebody. I always believe that it goes back to the root creation of somebody created somebody.
That's the truth. I mean I don't think there's any more truth than that. So,
And it all can be asked as a big life question, because in the Bible, it's like there is God, there is the one God and the one creator. Well, who is God? Who is the creator? Because something creates life, something gives source and energy to us, and we give it to something else. So where is that one ultimate God, one ultimate creator? I think there's multiple creators. I don't think there's just one. I think there's multiple creators.
I agree with that, definitely. At different levels as well.
Yeah, I mean, somebody might not want to live forever and be eternal. Like I wouldn't, the way this planet is right now, I wouldn't want to live forever here in this situation that we're in now. So if you tell me I can give you immortality, I'd say no thanks. I don't want it the way this planet is in this state. If it was peaceful utopia, I'd take the offer, but I'm not going to take it now. I'd rather have a shorter life,
Hmm.
meaning and has depth and reality, than an eternity where I see it's going on and on and on. No thanks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
It's just like, what choices are we making? Which pills are we taking? Um, the red, the blue, or maybe something else that's in the middle? So like,
Oh yeah, it's a cycle, it's a we're I know we're here to help get, you know, out of the cycle.
yeah,
to
and
for the ascension, and uh it's happening, and this is what everybody's been talking about.
exactly. And we want the truth. We want full disclosure. Whatever it is, no matter how horrid or ugly or gruesome or ghastly it is, the good, the bad, the evil, and everything in between, just give it to us already, and let's get on with the Galactic Society, like Star Trek. That's also like Star Wars. Um,
Hmm.
so it wasn't just created out of ether, out of thin air. Somebody disclosed information to the script writers, and it became reality, and huge TV series, huge movies out of it, huge following in the sci-fi world. Um, and that exists. The sci-fi exists somewhere out there in reality.
Right. No, like you said in Star Trek, there are humans working alongside with aliens, and for us as a humanity, we obviously have to raise our consciousness to a level to where we can actually do that before that can be a possibility. And we do want that. We do want to be working side by side with ETs and going to the stars, because humanity's destiny wasn't to, from dust you are and to dust you will return. It wasn't to just stay here. It's definitely what I believe is to go to the stars again. And because you look at all the statues around the world, all the monuments, they all paid homage to the stars. The Easter, their statues looking up, the Easter Island heads. Those were all people that left behind something to show that they went on, and we should be looking to do the same.
The Mayans.
Yeah,
They,
the
I mean,
Mayans as well. Yeah.
they're a breakaway civilization, actually, that a certain cool insider talks about a lot. So, and they have their own wooden ship. And I'm not meaning this is sarcastic. They do have that technology. They choose to look more organic in a cigar-shaped wooden ship, and that's cool. That's what they want. That's what they manifest for themselves, because the technology allows them to do so. And it's like, I kind of lost my train of thought, what I was going to say. But we certainly have the tech, and we certainly have the free will to make our own choices in this, and to create the reality that we want to create.
That's definitely, I agree with that, because with the tech and the spaceship tech, what I understand is you can, like the Lemurians, they grew their ships, they were biological. And that's why I can understand with what you're saying with the Mayans and what their ships were made of, because the technology they had, but they were more spiritual, rather than technological. And that was the thing was, the tech was more spiritual, but their stuff was more advanced than the people that took the technological way, like the Atlanteans. Because back in the Atlantean Lemurian times, you had the Atlanteans who were more logical, left brain mind. So that's the technology that they made, and they made their ships that way. But then you had the Lemurians, who were also existing at the same time, who made their ships their way, and they were more spiritual. But the more spiritual ones were the more advanced.
Exactly. And it's also like going back to the ET question. Say you had a huge reptilian, 14 feet reptilian dickcloak in front of you. How would you react to that?
I'd be ready. I'd be ready to go.
That would be my reaction. I'm like, what are you doing here? Who are you? What ET species are you? What branch are you from? What do you want from me?
Yeah, that would be so. And I heard Penny talk about how, most people would not even be able to handle it. Nervous systems would not be able to handle it, and people would die.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that for myself, because I've been around reptilians since I was from 2 to 10. And I had a reptilian insectoid hybrid ambassador in the Dark Fleet. So, interacting with me when briefly I saw some Dark Fleet stuff going on, and he's pretty impressive. He's like 10, 12 feet tall, wearing this nanotech suit. So cybernetics are interacting with his physical body, and he's green. So this guy, I'm like, I was never surprised when he was around. I just don't really show a reaction to different ET hybrids or reptilians. To me, it's like, okay, you're one huge looking dude that just materialized in front of me. I've seen others. I've seen many ETs in abduction experiences and ET contact in the secret space programs, because there are reptilian humanoid hybrids working with ICC assets on Mars bases. So humanoid looking hybrid ETs working with us, alongside us, and they're walking among us on this planet too. We just don't know that they're slightly different than us. So it's not like it's a brand new experience for you and me. It's just not.
Right, and that's what I understand with the secret space program is we've been, what do you say? We've been throughout our experience, we've been acclimatized to seeing different species, and obviously that's would be why we wouldn't be so surprised if we saw something that that would kill somebody else, you know.
Or just want to study us. Perhaps some of them are curious about us and like they've never seen a human before. You're like, you're human. I want to take a skin sample. I want some hair from you. Give me a piece of your clothing. Like they're curious about our culture. So we're not a galactic. Well, we are a galactic civilization in the secret space program already because that's galactic civilization. But here, down here, we're not yet a galactic civilization, so they're curious. Well, why do they have an SSP and why do these guys don't know about the SSP? Some of the extraterrestrials, they're like, why are you in the secret space program so different from the humans on the earth that don't know about this or that know but are not in the know? And I'm like, well, because there's a disclosure gap here. It hasn't been all disclosed to us. Like one of the ETs asked me that in the SSP. And I said to them, because there's a gap between Earth and Mars and other planets, and we haven't been disclosed fully that this stuff exists to us. You have to understand that. So what you know is not necessarily what I know about the universe, because I haven't been on your planet. So you need to tell me your history, and I need to tell you my history, not the sanitized history of Earth, but the real history. So let's compare notes and study this and figure it out.
I would most certainly be curious about other species as well, and trying to figure out how they work is so that makes perfect sense.
Well,
That you had yeah that conversation with the or that exchange with the ET.
well, that's what the SSP wanted me to do. They wanted me to study those other cultures and get intel on them. So what was thought of as a species inter-exchange program was really spy on that species and get intel on them and bring it back unknowingly. And you have an edge over that species now because you know some of their stuff, history,
Right.
secrets, whatnot, whatever they tell you. If it's of tactical value, now you've unknowingly been the patsy spy for your SSP handlers and you've handed over that information.
Yeah, yeah, that's obviously how they get it. So,
Yeah, I was just their 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 spy data intel scapegoat basically. They told me you're in an interspecies exchange program. You're going to learn about their culture. They're going to learn about you. It's friendly, get to know each other, but really you're spying for intel on the other species.
that's quite something how they do that.
Yeah, and they get the information through your Neuralink implants or through your microchip because that microchip or that Neuralink implant has audio and video being recorded of everything that you ever do. Everything.
Right. Even now, if they're in there, if they're in there.
Yeah, or even the Skype session, somebody's in the NSA or the FBI, their CIA, somebody's listening to this and like, yeah, they're disclosing stuff, and I mean, nobody will interrupt this or stop this from happening because it's part of alternative media already. So we cannot be stopped. We can talk to our heart's content about this, and they won't do anything to us because most people think this is science fiction and not true.
Hmm.
So, so who are we harming and who are we bothering? No one. Not at all. We're just sharing experiences and talking here. But there's a lot of truth and reality to all of this. So for us, we're no threat to the agencies or the SSP or anybody because if we really disclose something that was top classified, we're just discussing facts here, generalities about the SSP. If we disclose something totally top secret and classified, they'd shut us up. they'd end this interview.
Yeah, right. And I actually, that happened to me when I was talking to James Rink. They totally cut out everything when I was talking about something. And I believe that, you know, that that was back when about a year ago. So I think things are different now, but I know they're still listening. And like you said, they would, if they didn't want something coming out, they would end it. And so obviously we haven't touched upon anything yet, that's too sensitive. But but I know the more you talk, the more you reveal, and that's what I found. So
Yeah, but you see that annoying distortion. They're trying to annoy us with this, but it's not going to stop us from talking. Like you said, knowledge is power, and information is knowledge and power as well. And with the internet, and hey, they want to take our internet neutrality away from us. That's a form of blackout. So we don't get to do this anymore.
yeah, right, and that would definitely limit things, that need to to not be limited, because the more we come together with our experiences, that's what I'm saying. The more the group grows, the stronger we grow, and the more credibility we gain. And so, I mean, that's what I've seen this process happening is we're all coming together more. The more of us are talking, but of course we're a little group now, and we're not that much of a threat, like you say. But if we were ever to start, which I believe we are, if we were ever to start, spreading and stuff, they would be like, oh shit, now we're gonna have to start really doing something about this, because we're about to lose control.
Exactly. And it's like, if you were, for example, to go on conferences and to go on a online net streaming show, you'd give somebody a run for their money. You'd trust me. If we choose to go further than what we're doing here, having a casual conversation, if we actually went to the conferences and did the circuit,
Hmm.
a lot more people would hear us. We'd reach a lot more people, but we're not power hungry. We're not news hungry. We're not hungry for making money. This is not for paid ads or paid services or for anything. We just want to disclose. That's all we want. But if we were to go more on the mainstream alternative media stuff, hey, you'd be competition for somebody, trust me, and we both know who the somebodies are.
Oh yeah, no, I'm aware of that, and I am ready for that too, because we'll see what the future has in store. But
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be contacting some pretty major people, to take it to the next level. Um, so I got that in the plan.
And well, you should. It's just, do you have a interesting platform in mind?
Well, definitely thinking Alex Jones,
He's cool. He's
and
cool.
yeah, I've really resonated with him. He's totally on the right side, doing the disclosing and revealing that he's doing, and I understand what this is all about. Is it is a timely thing because I would be coming forward as a MyLab, and there are certain thing, that's a key. That's a key to disclosure is the MyLab, pretty much. I believe that the key to disclosure are the MyLabs.
Yeah.
And once we, because if we're healed and we're healthy, um, somehow, some way, we can actually have credibility and start, really getting into stuff that only researchers can research. I mean, we're experiencing it, so.
And and for me, it's not just about the SSP experiencer part of it. For me, it is the research aspect because I went to library school. I was taught how to research stuff on the internet through books, through other various, to think outside the box. And to check various sources, to fact check, verify when, where, how, what for, and to not just believe one person, to verify it with other sources. And working in a research library, you have to double check your sources, cite your resources. All that is research. It's not journalism, but it's very cool being a geeky researcher. That's my life. That's what I was trained for. To seek the truth, to research the heck out of everything, and I do a certain teaching style in my presentations and stuff, so it's not the norm. I don't write articles, I don't write books. I do it in a very different way. When I present it, I present it through these weird presentations that have voiceovers with images and write-ups that I do and stuff. That's how I disclose my experiences of what's happened to me, taking out the emotional component. I don't use the phrase I, we, him, her, they. I disseminate it as information that happened. So if people think I'm cold and heartless, I just take the emotional factor of it and give you the data factor. That's just how I do my research and my disclosing and my experiencing.
I understand why you do that, and because that's kind of what you have to do in this. And as far as intelligence gathering, I do know how there is a cycle, an intelligence cycle, and a process of gathering intelligence. And it does have to do with double checking sources, triple checking sources, going through the cycle of reading disinformation plus the real information. You got to read both sides so you can know it all. And I mean, not instead of being parochial, which means just looking at one thing and you don't look at something else. That's not how you gather intelligence. And that I know that's what operatives are trained in, that cycle, the intelligence cycle, to gather real intelligence that is can be taken as credible.
Yeah, and you keep an eye on all the game players on the chessboard. You keep an eye on all the players, whether you like them or not. You check in what they're releasing, what information is provided, when, where, how, why, and you see how all of that fits into this puzzle that we're disclosing in the SSP stuff. I keep an eye on all the players, on all the usual suspects, and then some.
Yeah, it gives you a good place to sit. It gives you a good place to sit when you're taking it all in.
Well, and also to see if they're saying anything about us, because sometimes if we hit a nerve with something that we've disclosed, the next day something appears like you're fake, you're a fake, you're a fraud. Something appears from the other players in the chess field. It's just part and parcel of this, unfortunately. Why can't we all get along and play nice and play well?
Yep, they're gonna try, and the best thing we can do is just not get angry and like you said, forgive, and that's what we got to do. And we're the grown ones here. We're the adults here because we're the ones that are having to deal with being told that we're not who we are and we're crazy and stuff. And it is a journey.
But it's funny. I was always told in the library world that if you're ever blackmailed or accused of something, keep the evidence. Like, I
Yeah.
just was told, always keep the evidence. If somebody contacts you with something and tries to blackmail you or accuse you of something, or, you have that weird interaction of like being told you're not that, you were never in the program, or blah, blah, blah. Keep the evidence, keep all the voice recordings, keep all the email exchanges, archive it. That's what I was told in the library world. You have to have evidence and proof to back up whatever interactions you had with who to get out of the situation. If the situation ever arises to be handled, you have to keep the forensic evidence. In the library world, you have to catalog everything and keep it. So that's what I was taught, and that's what I still do.
Yeah, I do too. I got my book right here, so I'm always writing everything down.
Well, I have email exchanges and times and dates of what happened where, and I even save the smear campaign articles. I have it all archived as date stamps and times, just in case if something blows out on the internet, that I can scientifically and logically say, this is what happened, this is what went down, here's my side of it, and here's the other party's side of it. If it gets totally out of control, I hope it never gets to that. But if you're bullied, harassed, accused, whatnot, keep it on file. If it's electronic, make a backup and a copy of it. It's not for anything bad, just you need to have your proof and your evidence. It's like in a court of law. The same here in alternative media. Unfortunately, sometimes it is a really wacky and wild world, so keep your evidence. Not to use it against anybody, but to defend yourself and back up what happened if you need to.
I definitely agree with that. You know, it's we gotta keep it all keep it all with us.
Yeah, whether it was good or bad, it's just information and data gathering, and it makes sense because in court of law, you're asked to prove your case and to back it up with evidence. SSP is still the same thing. You're the one being researched. You're the one being asked to be validated or verified. I don't like that terminology. Like, I believe you, Anthony Zender, and what happened to you because you are a nice, credible person to me. I'm not going to go dig into your life and your whole background and whatnot, but researchers do that. So, in how you interact with them and other insiders, keep the information about it, that this happened to you. This is what you submitted to the researcher. This is what they told you about what they find on you. Like, keep that information because you might be called on it, or you or somebody else, and you're like, well, I didn't save it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of information obviously to get down and save. You know, it's never ending. You know, coming. So you know, I save as much as I can and write as much as I can. You know, definitely. So
Same. Uh, we think we don't need the proof, but other people want this proof, and you just have it in your archives. That's just the library world that I was taught in, and I still maintain the practice because I'm a researcher. That's just what I do.
yeah, a scholar.
Yeah, yeah. So just don't be afraid. Explore yourself, your soul, what you want to learn, and go for it.
That's what we're doing, going for it. So yeah, it was a pleasure though, Elena. I had it was I knew that this was going to be a very a talk that I've been waiting for, and it has been an absolute honor and pleasure to speak with you this whole time, and I've learned so much, and I know that there's going to be you know, some things that are going to be coming in the future that are you know, going to be pretty big for what the work we've been doing. So I'm very
Yeah,
excited about that.
and we'll have to step up for the work that we've yet to do because we have what we will be doing in the future is very important. This is just stepping stones, milestones. The real work is yet to come.
Yep, we're getting ready and going
Yeah,
for it. So
it's not about the facade, what's behind us, like who's coming in or saying what's behind our screens or cameras. It's what we're discussing that's the important part.
oh yes, and it's very important.
Yeah, it is. So, folks, whether we're in our pajamas, in our underwear, or whatnot, don't be looking at this. Don't be looking at that. Just hear out the info, and you know, we're just here to chat with you and to share information. It doesn't matter if we have the glamour or we don't. It's not about that at all.
It isn't. It is not, and we're going to show that. We're going to show that fully. So
Yeah, you gotta get to see behind the scenes where we live or where we are. I just moved and it's temporary, so you get to see the clutter that is my temporary base of operations.
That's how I look at things too. This is
Yeah,
only my temporary base of operations.
exactly. So please don't judge us on the looks factor because we're not about that. It's about Anthony Zender and about Ileana, whatever.
Yep, and the rest of us.
Yes, yes, and the
It's
rest
still,
of us.
right.
We represent the average Joe Blow working middle class people, just normal people who've had extraordinary things happen to them. And you see you see the genuine, you see what you get. You're not seeing the makeup, the studio, the whatnot, because we don't have any of it. We just
No,
have this.
you're not sitting up here with the microphone, just sitting back with sunglasses on, just chilling and taking it in. That
No,
I'm not there yet. I don't have that following.
me neither. And places change, scenery changes. It's the genuine honesty that you and me and others are disclosing. That's what really matters here. So it's not appearances, it's not the money, it's not the glamour, it's not the atmosphere. It's the people. It's Anthony Zender and it's Ileana sharing stories, talking, and disclosing.
And there's more to come.
Yeah, this is the genuine us. It's not the glam, the Gaia TV, the conferences, the field trips. That stuff is important, but it's not the be all and end all of the world.
Agreed. Thank you, though. It was a wonderful conversation.
Thank you, and we represent a different part of the SSP factors in this, because some people do live in poverty on disability and have almost no money in the SSP group. We do have members like that, and they're wonderful people, and they're SSP experiencers, they're SSP veterans of the SSP programs who haven't been supported. So and they should be taken seriously. That's the whole point.
Definitely, I'm in awe and support for all of the vets. So
Yeah, me too. And I think we fit into that category somewhat.
oh, yeah. I think we made the cut. We've made the cut.
Yeah, and we're normal folks just trying to live to the best of our ability. And so just, there's much better than this setup, but it's here for everybody. We're not charging for this. It's not pay for money or pay for shows. This is free. And we're keeping it real. We're keeping it free because it's about giving the information. It's not about charging for it.
Definitely not.
And unfortunately, it's quite prevalent in these communities right now to charge for all of it and to give it out as for payment, to give the information for payment. And this, like we've done this for 3 hours. There's nothing really in it for us except just connecting and getting to know each other and sharing information. That's all, and putting it out there as well to the open source to the public. That's what this is intended for.
And we're certainly putting out everything that they're putting out and more.
Yeah. We're not gonna sugarcoat it for you. We're not gonna hide it from you. We're gonna tell the gross, the nice, and the bad parts. So just be prepared for a lot of graphic things and honesty, because we're the type, we want to tell what happened to us and not hide it because we don't have the handlers to keep us in check. We don't have handlers. We just don't. So we're going to share it and get ready for it. It's coming.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Well, I will see you. Hey, maybe I might see you in my dreams.
Probably will, because people tell me that I start in their missions and dreams quite often. Apparently I get around town even when I don't want to.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you are who you are.
That's true. And I'm like, okay, well, if you met me and saw me somewhere, check in with me. That might have not been me. That might have been somebody impersonating me, because that can happen too. So, or
Hmm.
it could have been me on a mission and I might be aware of it and might not be fully aware of it because I don't remember everybody's face. I remember some people like you. You're very distinctive in your facial features and physique. And I remember you. I remember Kevan Trammell. I remember KJ Scoops as a pilot and Rochelle Stannenforth. I remember as well. Not quite sure what I remember her in, but I do remember her in somewhere. So there's a few people, and Penny Bradley, I remember too.
Hmm.
So, and Lindsay,
Hooper.
yes, Lindsay Hooper, I remember. There's a
Hmm.
photo of her in a white dress and a gun that looks exactly like her. So, with the exact same short blonde hairdo. So, I remember a few people. If I don't remember you for some reason, you know, don't, no judgment here.
Yeah, there's a
It
lot of faces to remember to and recall.
Yeah, and different
Um,
mission ops too. So because the SSP keeps people busy, certainly working stiffs.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's been an honor and a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing more from you and with you in various interviews and roundtables.
Yeah, definitely me as well. I'm looking forward to seeing all the stuff that you're going to come out with and speaking with you again, Elena.
Perfect. And is there a website where you could be reached at or contact information?
Just as far as now, it's just Facebook. My name on Facebook, Anthony Zender, is the easiest way to contact me and with questions or anything that anyone has.
Okay, and I'm at YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, Awakening Cosmic Reality Show, and my website, Messages from a Star Traveler. You could plunk in either or both into a search engine and you'll find me that way.
All right.
So stay tuned and you'll see more of us.
Till next time.
Signing off, SSP, au revoir, bon voyage.
Arrivederci.
Bye in English.